Kitchen with the Colin Campbell Center for Nutrition Studies. My name is Dr. Evelis Capo, and today I want to share with you some of my favorite kitchen tools and equipment. So obviously a lot of tools is not necessary to cook plant-based, but certain items come in handy, especially when we're making a lot of plant-based burgers and sauces and different recipes that may require or make use of some of these tools. So the first equipment I want to talk to you about is food processor. So this is the first equipment I bought when I started cooking plant-based, and it really saves a lot of time in the kitchen, especially when you're making burgers or meatloaf, things like that, where you need to chop a lot of the vegetables and you need to blend them well. So this is great. And so this is about 18, 19 years old, and it still works. So it's best to, invest in a good one. I cook for a lot of people, so big quantities. So, maybe you don't need quite as big, but, medium size is good. And this comes with different blades, so you can also shred or, different cuts for your vegetables. So it comes in handy to make salads. The next one I want to talk to you about is a high-power blender. So you don't need an expensive blender, but a high-power blender is useful when you're making dressings, sauces, or you're also maybe chopping some things, or maybe grinding your nuts or your seeds. So this comes in very handy. And if you don't have a high-power blender, sometimes a regular blender may overheat. If you can't afford a Vitamix, then you can use a NutriBullet. Like, it doesn't have to be really expensive, and just make use of whatever you have. I started with a regular blender and I used that for years. The other equipment that I like to use quite a bit is my Instant Pot, or you can also use a any type of slow cooker, or a different pots and pans that you can like a pressure cooker or things like. I know there's such different tools right now, that everybody talks about. An air fryer. I don't particularly make use of an air fryer because I use my convection oven, but I do a lot of pressure cooking, so I use this to cook my beans. Next, you want to have some good quality pots and pans. They don't have to be expensive again, but you want to use either stainless steel or non-reactive cookware. So try to avoid aluminum or Teflon, things that the coating may flake off into your food. So avoid that. And different sizes. So I have one for pasta, one for sauces, and also you want to have like a skillet if you're making pancakes, or different sautéing and stir fries. Now, because I don't use any oil and I don't have any nonstick cookware, I also use a lot of baking sheets covered with parchment paper to make like plant-based burgers, or to make French toast. So this comes in very handy, just a couple different baking sheets, and you can either use the silicone or use the parchment paper. Now, it's important to have good quality knives that have been sharpened, because if it's dull, a dull knife, it's more dangerous than a sharp knife. So again, just have different ones. I make use of my big knives for cutting and chopping veggies, and make sure you have either a sharpener or you take it somewhere to get it sharpened. And then along those lines, we use the different cutting boards. So I have this bamboo cutting board. Obviously we don't cook any meat products, so we don't have to divide, the cutting boards are all plant-based. But it's good to have one, that doesn't get stained. This one is actually made of cardboard. So this has lasted a long time. I've been trying to find another one like it, and I haven't found it, so I don't know if they make it anymore. But it's one of my favorites. We also have a variety of mixing bowls. So for all of the different recipes we make, pancake batter, you name it, cakes and things, it's good to have different sizes. Also to whip up some creams and sauces, and a strainer for our noodles, or to wash our vegetables. Now, in terms of the other tools that we use, you want to have a spatula So I use this a lot for my pancakes or to flip the burgers. And I also have either bamboo or wooden spoons. You can also use stainless steel spoons. And then some tongs. And I also have different sizes of these for when you're serving, you know, like salad and things like that. This comes very helpful. A good whisk. I have a couple of these because sometimes there's multiple chefs in the kitchen, so you want to have these available. And my favorite, so I cook with a lot of garlic. So I use my garlic press almost every day. And you don't have to even peel the garlic. You can put it in there and actually crushes the garlic right through. This is also useful to use ginger. So if you're pressing the ginger or using some of the ginger juice, this is one of the tools that you can use for that. Or a little strainer. You can actually have the grated ginger and just kind of press it in. I also use my potato masher quite a bit for either potatoes or bananas if we're mashing them for a recipe. Also, we use a lot of either the lemon zest or orange zest. So we have a zester and a little grater here for carrots or, you know, any other vegetable you want to grate. Now, if you're grating large quantities, then that's when this tool comes in handy because it has you know, different attachments that you can use. Now, to measure your ingredients, sometimes you kind of eyeball it, but there's other times when you really want to measure, and a lot of people get this confused. These are for your solids or your you know, like your dry ingredients, and this is a measuring cup for your wet ingredients, for your liquids. And then we got our little measuring spoons. And we also have different ones here since we have so many chefs in the kitchen. And then finally, you want to have some bowls to put away your food. So I use glass because you can put your hot food in these and then warm them up in the oven without having to transfer it out. You know, you can just add a little bit of liquid. So I have different ones like that. And also I love this one. This is a can opener. And this is a newer version where it doesn't actually get dirty and doesn't get rusty. So you just put your can in and you twist this around, and actually you get the top off without having to dirty it up, and it's not sharp or anything. So some of these are very helpful. So hopefully these tools will help you if you're starting out with plant-based cooking, or maybe if you're a veteran cook and you're just looking for other ideas on how to make your cooking a little bit more pleasurable and easier. So thank you for joining us.